How does speaking Latin improve your listening skills? Well, it's quite simple actually, because when you speak, you actually listen to yourself. So, what I'm trying to say here is, whenever you come up with a conversation with a person, not only do you, of course, listen to what he's saying or listen to the outside world, but you're listening to your inner thoughts and you're formulating, it's like a very complex process inside your head, which gathers a bunch of words and sounds and forms a complete thought. That's what makes language so intriguing to everybody, because each language is different, and how people develop those ideas and how they were able to express it is quite amazing actually. So when you speak Latin, you hear yourself speak, speaking. So it's like a third level when you're using the language. First would be, of course, to read and to understand, which wherein you can go back to it, and then slowly you get the concept of the thought of the sentence, etc. And next would be listening to it. It's much quicker. It's at a much quicker pace. So that's why you have to understand it. You have to pay more attention, and that's why you need to be a higher level of understanding Latin, so that you can easily interpret whatever's coming to your head. It can't just be a bunch of words flowing through your head and none of them are sticking. That's why listening is also hard. But of course, the hardest would be speaking, because in order to speak something, you already have to understand it. You have to know how to say it. So it's the whole package. So another way of looking at the language would be, for me, learning Latin actually makes you more intellectually agile, because it helps you broaden your understanding of other languages, and that's why speaking it would help me best understand Latin. Just like English, what's the first thing you learn to do? I guess when you first understand everything, you don't say anything. You just make a bunch of sounds, then you understand it. You may not read yet, but you understand it. Then you're taught to speak. And through speaking, you learn everything else. Because you're like, cat, and you can read it, cat, or something like that. It doesn't happen, it doesn't happen that speaking just comes naturally. It's something you have to learn and develop. And that's why for each language, including Latin, speaking would help improve your listening skills and also your reading skills. So first of all, in order to achieve the ideal way of listening to Latin, you must attain that sense of that level of understanding of words. So it just, when you hear a word, like I said before, it should just instantaneously, register in your head. So there's no lag. Second, you must remember that listening to Latin is a skill, and you need to develop time, effort, and that's what I mean by effort. I mean, there's a lot of quick thinking involved. So you don't just let it flow, the ideas flow in your head and nothing sticks. You have to follow that flow of thought, because in listening to Latin it's quite hard compared to reading. Next would be the use of grammar in listening to Latin. Grammar is important, because even though when you first hear something, yes, you may get a few words, but grammar is what really connects everything together. So you need to be a master of grammar to fully attain that sense of ideal listening. Third, grammar conventions are very important in listening to Latin, because even though you get, let's say, a pinch of what's the complete thought in the sentence, it all comes down to applying grammar conventions to actually get the whole meaning. Because yeah, you may get like the cat hit the dog, but it could be the cat hit the dog using this, or the cat hit the dog during that time. Because without grammar conventions, you can't really, complete the flow of thought. That's why it's very important to use this. And actually, grammar conventions can also be used as a way to, understand it easier. You can call them context clues, of course. Context clues would be such things as knowing the direct object, or knowing a word using another word. Alright, anyways, going back. Lastly, of course, would be precautions. Precautions would be not to conclude anything that quickly, and to take time to understand, but don't, it has to be instantaneous as well. So you have to understand it at the pace, which is good for both. Good for both what you learn and retaining whatever you understood from the sentence. So, and lastly is that you can't really achieve the ideal way of listening to Latin. But doesn't mean you can try or get close. Because listening to Latin would be another level in which you improve your language skills. In learning another language doesn't mean that you're stuck in that one language. Learning one language actually broadens your intelligence to a whole new level, which is why we should adapt these other languages, and which is why I'm taking Latin also this year. So I'd like to thank you for listening to me, and I hope you take these tips seriously, and thank you. Walete.